Hello, hello, or rather, I should say, ahoy, ahoy! Pete's Pax here with the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander Deck number 2. This is Ahoy Mateys, which is the Grixis deck. Put pirates in the graveyard, bring them back bigger. It's okay to go a little overboard. Well, glad to know, because that's every day for me. Let's see what's in here. Oh, hey, I just noticed there's extra thing here. Lost sailors aren't failures. Okay. Not sure that was ever the case, that they were, but good to know. Alright. So let's check out what's in here. Now, as with all of the decks for this set, you only get 6 counters. So, that is the thing. They still have the goofy line about victory confetti. I've had one opponent do that, using counters as victory confetti, and it was less confetti and more just a projectile, but, you know, it is what it is. Just, granted, I won, not them. They just kind of went, eh. Alright. In the little envelope, we have our collector booster sample. Put that off to the side with our others. Black envelope. We have our themed tuck box. So we'll do that, and in the tuck box is our unthemed life dial, or life counter thing. It is a little sad that they're not theming those anymore. It's kind of a neat little Easter egg. Alright, let's take a look at this insert. We have Ahoy Mateys with the Admiral Brass. And then back we've got a blurb and another art for Admiral Brass Unsinkable. A little bio about them. And some ads. Very cool. Alright, now to the star of the show. The deck. Now we did pull a few Admiral Brass in non-foil from our set boosters, so that's kind of cool. But let's see what's actually in here. There we go. We have Admiral Brass Unsinkable, 2 blue, black, red for a 3/3 legendary human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may return a pirate card from your graveyard to the battlefield with finality counter on it. It has base power and toughness 4/4. It gains haste until end of turn. Very nice. We have Don Andres, the Renegade, 1 blue, black, red for 4/3 legendary vampire pirate. Each creature you control but don't own gets +2/+2 and has menace and death touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell you don't own, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. That's pretty sweet. Azure Fleet Admiral, 3 and a blue for a 3/3 human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. I'm not sure if this is... Okay, so this is a reprint. This actually sees quite a bit of play in Pauper in blue decks that tend to go a little bit long. It is a way of introducing the monarch. Azure Fleet Admiral can't be blocked by creatures the monarch controls, so if you have this in play, you could always be able to regain the monarch, or the monarchy. Enterprising Scallywag, 1 in a red for a 2/2 goblin pirate. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, create a treasure token. You descend if a permanent card is important here, so tokens do not trigger descend. was put into your graveyard from anywhere. So cycling counts, milling counts, all of that. But tokens do not. Daring Saboteur, 1 and a blue for 2/1 human pirate. 2 and a blue, Daring Saboteur can't be blocked this turn. Whenever Daring Saboteur deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Departed Deckhand, 1 and a blue for 2/2 Spirit Pirate. It becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. Can't be blocked except by spirits. 3 and a blue, another target creature you control can't be blocked this turn except by spirits. Okay. Distant Melody, another great reprint for Pauper. But 3 and a blue, instant. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. Very nice. Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro, 2 and a blue for 2/3 legendary Spirit Pirate. Can't be blocked by creatures with toughness 3 or greater. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, choose up to 1 target card in a graveyard that was discarded or put there from a library this turn. Put that card into its owner's hand. 1 target. Oh, okay. It has partner. So you can have 2 commanders if both have partner. Very nice. Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 legendary Siren Pirate with flying. Whenever 1 or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. Wait a minute. Do we have a pirate that, when an artifact comes into play, deals damage to each opponent? Because if that's the case, this goes infinite with that. I think there is one, but I don't remember what it would be, what its name is. I have to check into that. I'm pretty sure it's red. Then partner. Merchant Raiders, 3 and a blue for 2/4 human pirate. Whenever it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, tap up to 1 target creature. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Merchant Raiders. Siren Storm Tamer. Hey, this is actually used in a couple of Pioneer decks. Was very heavily used when it was in Standard. But for a blue, you get a 1/1 Siren Pirate Wizard with flying, and then for a blue and sacrifice a counter target spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control. Nice little one. And then Spectral Sailor, also great reprint. So it used to be Flying Men was, for a blue you got a 1/1 flyer. Just that was it. These are strictly better, and it's amazing how power creep has happened over the years. But Spectral Sailor, for a blue you get a 1/1 Spirit Pirate with flash, flying, and 3 and a blue, draw a card. Windfall. I thought this was banned in Commander. Huh. Windfall, 2 and a blue, sorcery. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. This is especially great with Hull Breacher, which I believe is actually banned in Commander now. So that's good. But also great with Narset or Leovold. Anything that restricts draws. And it's hilarious with like Chains of Mephistopheles, which is a confusing card for most people. Feed the Swarm, 1 and a black, sorcery, destroy target creature or enchantment. An opponent controls, you lose life equal to that permanent's mana value. Pitiless Plunderer. Okay, so prior to this thing having a reprint, it was up around $20. Which is kind of insane because it was printed originally as an uncommon. But 3 and a black for a 1/4 human pirate. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. This goes infinite with a ton of different things like there's a red-green card from Streets of New Capenna. It's something surplus, which lets you create tokens by sacrificing treasure. So that, a sack outlet, and whatever the surplus card is called, just goes infinite. Breaches, Brazen Plunderer, 3 and a red for a 3/3 legendary goblin pirate with menace. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those cards. Partner. Faithless Looting, so good it was banned in Modern. For red, you get a sorcery that says draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Flashback, 2 and a red. Rakdos Charm, black-red, instant. Choose one, exile target player's graveyard. Destroy target artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. That's fun. And we have another Ramirez de Pietro. This is the Pillager. But 2 blue-black for a 4/3 legendary human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life and create 2 treasure tokens. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You may cast that card for as long as it remains in exile. Arcane Signet, 2-mana artifact, taps for your commander's color identity. Commander's Sphere, 3-mana artifact that taps for your commander's color identity, and you can sacrifice it to draw a card. Dimir Signet, it's the blue-black signet. Herald's Horn, 3-mana artifact. When it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. Is it Signet? It's the blue-red signet. Rakdos Signet. It's the black-red signet. Soul Ring, 1-mana artifact that taps for 2. Wayfarer's Bauble, 1-mana artifact, 2, tap and sacrifice it. Search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. It's the colorless Ramping Growth. And Command Tower, land that taps for your commander's color identity. Crumbling Necropolis, enters the battlefield tapped, taps for Grixis. Evolving Wilds, tap and sack, search for a basic land, put into play, tap, then shuffle. The Indomitable, 2 blue-blue for a 6/6 legendary artifact vehicle. With Trample, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Crew 3, you may cast the Indomitable from your graveyard as long as you control 3 or more tapped pirates and or vehicles. That's cool. So you can just keep bringing it back. Stormfleet Negotiator, not Navigator. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 Siren Pirate with flying and Parlay. Whenever it attacks, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you create a map token, then each player draws a card. Okay, that's cool. Francisco, Foul Marauder. Oh, it's a parrot. That's hilarious. It's got a knife. Whoa. He's got a knife. 1 and a black for a 0/1. How's that a 0/1? He's got a knife. It's a burb. For a 0/1 legendary creature, bird pirate with flying. Francisco, Foul Marauder, can't block. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to a player, Francisco explores. Ooh, okay. And then it has Partner. That's cool. I like that. That's just too funny. I love it. The Grim Captain's Locker. 3 and a black for a legendary artifact. It's tap, Surveil 1. Just look at the top card of your library, you may put it into your graveyard. Otherwise, put it back. Tap until end of turn, each creature card in your graveyard gains Escape. 3 and a black, exile 4 cards from your graveyard. Whoa. That's cool. That's really cool. That might see play in Legacy. Probably not Vintage, but maybe Legacy. I could see that being useful as a backup strategy for Reanimator. Skeleton Crew, 3 and a black for a 3/3 Skeleton Pirate. Each other creature you control that's a skeleton or pirate gets +1/+1. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black skeleton pirate creature token. This ability triggers only from the battle. Oh, so yeah, that makes sense. And then 5 and a black, return Skeleton Crew from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That is a very cool card. I could see some interesting shenanigans being done with that. Broadside Bombardiers, 2 and a red for 2/2 Goblin Pirate with Menace and Haste. Boast, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Broadside Bombardiers deals damage equal to 2 plus the number. Sorry, deals damage equal to 2 plus the sacrificed permanent's mana value to any target. Activate only if this creature attacked this turn and only once each turn. Gem Cutter Buccaneer, 3 and a red for a 1/3 Orc Pirate Artificer. Whenever it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, create a tapped treasure token. Treasures you control are equipment in addition to their other types and have equipped creature gets +2/+0. Equip Pirate 1 and equip 3. Well, that's cool. Arm-Mounted Anchor. 3 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has menace. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards. Then discard 2 cards unless you discard a pirate card. Equip 2, this ability costs 2 less to activate if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Okay, that's cool. Amphin Mutineer. 3 and a blue for a 3/3 Salamander Pirate. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-salamander creature. That creature's controller creates a 4/3 blue Salamander Warrior creature token. And then Encore, 4 blue. Exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn to Fable. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. That's cool. Bident of Thassa. It's a Bident because it only has 2 prongs. Trident has 3 prongs. A Quadrant has 4. Or Quadent, rather, has 4. Although many people just call that a fork. But 2 blue for a legendary enchantment artifact. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. 1 and a blue, tap, creatures your opponent control attack this turn to Fable. Courser Captain. Let's see. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. Excuse me, just a good old pirate lord. Evacuation. It's a cool new art for evac. 3 blue, instant return all creatures to their owner's hands. Yay! Abandoned ship. No, grab the treasure first. Oh, that's funny. Time Stream Navigator. This is a fun one because you can just use it to keep taking extra turns, especially if you have a way of playing things off the bottom of your library, like from the more recent Doctor Who Commander decks. In fact, I think this card spiked in price because of that. But 1 and a blue for a 1/1 human pirate wizard with Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. 2 blue, tap, put Time Stream Navigator on the bottom of its owner's library, take an extra turn after this one. Activate only if you have the city's blessing. That is a fun one. Orkite Marauder, I think it's River Song that lets you play from the bottom of your deck. So that plus River Song and 6 mana is just infinite. Because you need you need 3 blue, but you do the 2 blue, put it on the bottom, and then play it from the bottom. So yeah, that's cool. Warkite Marauder, 1 and a blue for a 1/2 human pirate with flying. Whenever it attacks, target creature defending player controls loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. Black Market Connections. Nice. Good that this is getting a reprint. 2 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. Create a treasure token, you lose 1 life. Draw a card, you lose 2 life. Create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature token with changeling, you lose 3 life. So, very cool. Blood Money. 5 black sorcery. Destroy all creatures. For each non-token creature destroyed this way, create a tapped treasure token. Nice. Dire Fleet Ravager. 3 black for 4/4 Orc Pirate Wizard with Menace and Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, each player loses 1/3 of their life, rounded up. So if you are at 1, you are dead. Fathom Fleet Captain. 1 and a black for 2/1 human pirate with Menace. Whenever it attacks, if you control another non-token pirate, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 black pirate creature token with Menace. Nice. Lethal Scheme. 2 black instant. Convoke, so you can tap creatures you control to help cast it. Each creature you tap while casting it pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoked Lethal Scheme connives. That's cool. I like that. I don't think you can convoke for more than the mana cost, though. So at most, that's 4 creatures. That's still really cool. Angrath's Marauders. This was used in Winota, if I remember correctly. So this is also getting a reprint. That's nice. But 5 red for a 4/4 human pirate. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Nice. Blasphemous Act. 8 and a red, sorcery. Costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. Deals 13 damage to each creature. Captain Lannery Storm. 2 and a red for a 2/2 legendary human pirate with haste. Whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. You may sacrifice a treasure, or whenever you sacrifice a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Nice. This is a fun one. Captivating Crew. 3 and a red for a 4/3 human pirate. For 3 and a red, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until the end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Chaos Warp. This used to be so much better than it is now because of rulings changes, but for 2 and a red instant, the owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Coercive Recruiter. 4 and a red for 4/3 Orc Pirate. Whenever it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. Until end of turn, it gains haste and becomes a pirate in addition to its other types. So I wonder if we have some unbounded sack outlets, because this would be really good for just taking your opponent's creatures and sacrificing them. Direfleet Daredevil. Good enough that it's in Vintage Cube. But 1 and a green for a 2/1 human pirate with first strike. When it enters the battlefield, exile target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. You may cast it this turn, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. If the spell would be put into a graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Karizev. This is where Ragavan got his first debut. 1 and a red for a 1/3 legendary human pirate with first strike and menace. Whenever it attacks, create Ragavan, a legendary 2/1 red monkey creature token. Ragavan enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. Exile that token at the end of combat. Port Razor. 3 red for a 4/4 Orc Pirate. It deals combat damage to a player. Untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. Port Razor can't attack a player it has already attacked this turn. Shared Animosity. 2 and a red enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. Oh, that's gross. Those two together. Jeez. Admiral Beckett Brass. Keep in mind this could also be your commander. 1 blue-black-red for a 3/3 legendary creature human pirate. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who has dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. That card has always been silly. Hey, Hostage Taker. Fun fact, this card had to be emergency errated when it was originally printed, because it originally didn't say another. So you could actually use it to target itself, which would cause an infinite loop and draw the game. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. So instead of exile another target, it said target creature. So if it was the only thing in play, it would draw the game immediately. So they had to errata it. But 2 blue-black for a 2/3 human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target creature or artifact until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. One of the fun things that we used to do with this, when it was in Standard, it was a staple card. If you were playing blue-black, you were playing it. But you would often take like people's treasure maps and other good early artifacts. You also just use it to like Hostage Taker their Hostage Taker and then play their Hostage Taker to Hostage Taker something else. Like it got really silly. Also in that same Standard we had what's it called? The Scorpion God. The Scarab God. We had the Scorpion God too, but you didn't really play that one. You played the Scarab God. And you could keep bringing back like Hostage Takers and all kinds of stuff. It was silly. It was a very silly time in Standard, and I very much enjoyed it. King Narfi's Betrayal. 1 blue-black for a 3-chapter saga. Chapter 1, each player mills 4 cards, and you may exile a creature or planeswalker card from each graveyard. Chapter 2 and 3, until end of turn you may cast cards from among the cards exiled with King Narfi's Betrayal, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. Very cool. Prismari Command. Hey, this got a reprint. 1 blue-red for an instant. Choose 2. Deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token and destroy target artifact. A lot of fun things you can do with that. Zara, Renegade Recruiter. 3 blue-red for a 4/3. Legendary human pirate with flying. Whenever it attacks, look at defending player's hand. You may put a creature card from it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. That's gross. Oh, that's silly. Icon of Ancestry, 3-mana artifact. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. 3 and tap, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature of the chosen type from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Vanquisher's Banner, 5-mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a creature spell of the chosen type, draw a card. We've Choked Estuary. It is the reveal land for islands and swamps. Taps for blue-black. Desolate Lighthouse. This is a really great utility land. Used to be a core part of Splinter Twin. But taps for a colorless. 1 blue-red. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Exotic Orchard. Taps for your opponent's land's colors. Foreboding Ruins. It's the reveal land for red-black. Crossboil Snarl to reveal land for blue-red. Gaia Reach Sanitarium, another one of my favorite cards of all time. That is a legendary land, taps for colorless. 2, tap, each player draws a card, then discards a card. Foliage Roundyard, special place in my heart with this one. But taps for colorless, and then 1 blue-black, tap, target player mills 3 cards. We used to use this to break open control mirrors way back, and I shouldn't say way back. It was, oh god, it was like just over a decade ago now. I feel old. Back during the original Innistrad standard. Smoldering Marsh, Swamp Mountain. It's a Tango land, so it enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basics. Sulphur Falls, it's one of the slow lands. Enters tapped unless you control an island or mountain. Sunken Hollow, it's the blue-black Tango. Path of Ancestry, enters tapped, taps for your commander's color identity. If it's spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, you scry 1. Port of Karfell, this was from Kaldheim. Enters battlefield taps for a blue. 3 blue-black, tap, sacrifice it, mill 4 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, great end-of-turn trick from Limited. Rogue's Passage, taps for colorless, 4 tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Secluded Courtyard, hey! This is actually in standard right now, and it's a fantastic card for the blue-white humans deck. Or blue-white soldiers, rather. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, tap for colorless, then tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend it only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type or activate an ability of the chosen type. Terramorphic Expanse, it's functionally the same as Evolving Wilds. Tap, sacrifice it, search for a basic, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Thriving Bluff is the red Thrive land. Enters tapped, choose a color other than red, taps for the chosen color or red. Isle, same for blue. More, same for black. Unclaimed Territory. When it enters, choose a creature type, tap, add a colorless. And you can tap it for 1 mana of any color, spend only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type. Let's see, then we have islands. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 islands. Swamps, 1, 2, 3, 4 swamps. And then mountains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mountains. Those are some miscut mountains. And then we have our etched foil Admiral Brass, unsinkable, very nice. Then we got some tokens. So we got a Ragavan token that has treasure on the back. He's a monkey. Monkey. Then we have some Salamander Warrior tokens that are different things on the back. So we've got a Shapeshifter, 2 Shapeshifters, 2 treasures. That's cool. You'll want a lot of treasures for this deck. We have a Map token. It's also a Skeleton Pirate, 2/2 Skeleton Pirate. We have 2 Copy tokens that are also 2/2 Skeleton Pirates. Then we have the Monarch. I want to be the pretty princess. That is also a Pirate token with Menace. And the City's Blessing with another Menace Pirate on the back. Very nice. And a reminder card. Alright. Well, Ahoy Mateys. Thank you for joining me on this adventure through Ahoy Mateys with the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.